Guys, it's Keith with Arkenberg Farms. Today I'm going to show you how I built out this end wall on the end of my cat tunnel. Take you into the pack shed and show you how I designed it. Now here's my plan for the cat tunnel I've built. It's kind of shaped like this, and I got my rebar stakes into the ground. We got ground level here. Use a 2x4, go across, another one go across, and I'm going to drive some kind of stake or pin into the ground. Now we're going to build up for a door all the way up to the top. Same thing over here. Put a cross member up top. Maybe a temporary one down here. Then we're going to build in a door. And then hinge it. I've got some ribbon tape I got with the high tunnel. So I'm just going to nail into the 2x4 with it all the way up around the door, on the door itself, and up the side pieces here. These will connect on with chain link fence connectors, and then I've already have wiggle wire on top and on the sides that currently hold the sidewall end. So I will just try to build this up actually behind it, get it all attached, put the door in place at the same time, and then I'll nail it all off. And then when I want to remove it, if it gets too hot, I can just pull these wiggle wires on the end that hold the end wall, take my screws loose there, and then the ones on the post, and I should be able to bring the whole entire wall out as one unit. So let's get started on it. Now I've opened up the end wall of the cat tunnel where I can have access up top in both spots to get connectors there and there, and also at the bottom to run my board across. Just using regular 2x4 stock for this. It's got 8 footers because this thing's about 16 foot across. In the center here you can see I doubled over another one. This is just a temporary board up front so I can pull a straight line from end to end. From there I went through and measured down where my lifts are to, I think it was about 6.5 inches on this. As you can hear, we got a proud chicken behind us, just laid an egg. I measured down 6.5 inches from my connector to get it straight across, which straight is a relative term. It's just going to be square with the greenhouse, not the ground or anything else. Did the same thing over here. Got it clamped on temporarily right now. On the inside I make a mark. That's where my cut mark is. These are some connectors that are left over from the greenhouse. Plan on using those to go on the outside of the board to hold it in place on the bottom. Went across, measured my full length, found my center, which is my C mark. I'll put in a 40-inch door, so my overall opening is going to be 41. So I measured off each direction for that. Now I can go through, make my cut here and here, leaving this board that's temporarily here intact, so I'll still have a straight edge all the way across. From there I can drop pins in the ground, hook off to this, which will give me my shear rigidity so it doesn't move in and out. And then I will take a 2x4 directly off this, go all the way up to the peak, tie on there some more clips, go across again to make my top header, and we'll build out a door. Let's start working on that. Now that I have the baseboard cut to length, I'm going to bring my clip up and over and line my baseboard up with my mark again. Get the clips pretty much centered on the board. And I'm going to pre-drill it. That way I don't have to worry about splitting. I'm using little 3/8 inch lag bolts. They're all part of the greenhouse high tunnel kit. So when I'm done, it's gonna look just like that. Changed my clip up. The clip I was using originally was one of them off the greenhouse, and I discovered if I ever needed that part again, I kind of need that. These are just ones I bought at the store. They're just a little longer, give me a little bit more leeway, a little bit more play. I'll go down and do the same thing on the other end. Now with both ends secured, my clips to the poles, I'm going to start on my uprights. Just put one screw in temporarily down at the bottom, grabbed a level, plumbed it up, made a mark. That way I can hold it where it needs to go along the back side. Drew a line where I need to cut off, and then made marks on both sides. That one's harder to see. And I'll connect the dots. So I'm going to do, since this is clear out on the front, I'm going to actually take this notch out, and then I'll drive a screw or bolt through the actual pipe and then into this flange that's left on the back. Get it done and show you. When I had that standing up there, I marked the front. Originally had lines back here and here. Transferred those across into the front. So I know I've got a line there. And this is the one I transferred from the back to the front. So I'm going to cut out here and around and cut out these notches. They're angled cuts, so what I'll end up doing is setting the board up on edge like this and making my cut across. But I'll set the depth to this depth. This side, do the same thing. This one though, I'll cut this across. Then they'll drop my waist, and I can come back in and make a single straight cut in here and flip it over and finish it up, knock that out, and then we'll be ready to go with it. So when it's up on the greenhouse itself, the piece of tubing will be right here, and then I can drive a screw or bolt through this into the meat here. Now I got my first upright on for the door. It's right here. I also put a cross across here that's the same width as my opening. Turns out I had to make it just a hair smaller. It didn't account for, I put my 41 there. I should have cut an extra 1.5 inches off to have the full 40-inch door. Now I'm just going to lose 3 inches, so it's not a big deal. I went through, finished screwing off the bottom, came up top, drilled through the pipe, and then set a screw through into the back. Then like I said, put my top of my door across. That way I can repeat on the other side. And I'll just do the same thing I did last time. Line this up, bring it up, line it up here. I'll make my marks, cut that off, and get it in place. Now I got a couple 16-inch pieces of 1/2 inch EMT conduit. Just what I had laying around. I'm going to use those to pin the door in place. Pretty much hammer them down. And then I've got conduit clip, which this is just the one I happen to have laying around. Just screw it in place. Well, got to get the right bit for that. Alright, had to go grab a Phillips for that. Little panhead screws I'm using. Happen to be Phillips. Everything else I'm using is construction grade. And they're all, of course, stars. Just put one in and we got it. All this is really doing is keeping the wiggling back and forth down to a minimum. Go ahead and drive one on the other side real quick. And I went ahead and built the door out. It's pretty simple, just a bunch of square cuts. Top pieces go all the way up from top to bottom. Then I just screwed in the cross members from the outside at both sides. Down at the bottom, I laid my 2x4 in flat and actually notched it in. Find that gives me a little bit more rigidity on the bottom and also gives a kick plate. The one in the middle will just give me something to grab a hold of so I don't push through the plastic. I'll go ahead and take it on the inside and temporarily pin it to the framing with a couple screws top and bottom. That way I can come back out, set my hinges, and I can get the plastic in place and have it ready. Now I brought the door into the greenhouse and installed it from the inside. Right now I just got it temporarily screwed in. Easiest way is you get it in your opening, put some bricks or something on board so you have a lever so you can lift it up into place. Do it with one person. Stay down about a ½ inch from the top or so. Then drop a screw in the top and then down in the bottom. Come over to the other side. I'll use my lever, wedge it up so I have about the same reveal. I'll drop another screw in temporarily here and down at the bottom. That way I can now drop the plastic down and pick it back up in the top, and I'll install my hinges on the outside over the top of my plastic. Then afterwards I'll run a diagonal, just use a piece of cable or wire and go from point to point after I have it all sealed off with plastic, all the plastic secure. That way I can kind of see how it's going to move after I actually install it, because it'll move, they always do. And we'll install some batten strips around the outside. Take it back out and get the hinges on. I just got some little 3-inch hinges here. Use the same wood screws I've been using to screw it in. Gonna go 9 inches down from the top of the door, 9 inches up from the bottom. Might put a third one here and here later, just kind of depends. Just finish up and repeat on the bottom. Now here's my roll of batten tape. It came with a high tunnel. It's supposed to be used for securing end walls and stuff. I had enough channel wiggle wire so I didn't have to worry about it. About 1 inch wide, very thin, kind of a plasticky rubbery material. I'll go through and nail it off every 6 inches. When I start, I'll go across the top of the door on the frame, go around the frame, then go across to the bottom, do the same thing over here, down and across, and then I'll go through and nail off the outside frame of the door. From there I can cut the door free, go around the inside, take out those little temporary screws I have, and the door should be ready to go. Now we got it all nailed off with batten tape all the way around. Just come through a sharp knife, got my pocket knife here, and then cut it free. Now down here at the bottom, got a whole bunch of excess. I'm just going to come back and take it and go straight off. I'll worry about cutting off the rest here later. And if I ever want to take the door off in the summer, I can cut the tape free, make a second cut down this line. Right now I'm just going to leave it in place. So I'll get that bottom trimmed up, and then we'll go open it up from the inside, take a look at it. Hope you all like what you saw here today and thought it was useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Have a good day.